This is to General Mike Holmes, who heads the Air Combat Command, whose command post did so much delaying in the name of the Air Combat Command, but I gave to them the notification under this law, 18 USC code, which says that he who knows of a felony, an actual commission, well, I knew of 22, all you need to do is notify someone and they'll take care of it. Well, sir, you are a military authority and you shirked your duty. You allowed a woman to be further brought into danger. It's now been weeks, General Mike Holmes. When that woman dies, as seems to be inevitably what you want, when that woman dies, I will prefer charges against you, both in public and to the U.S. Attorney in this district, as well as the Attorney General for the United States. There is no basis for you to disobey this law. And I do know that some member of your general staff who outranked or used your authority gave an order on Memorial Day to Colonel Don Yates, who before you likewise violated the law and likewise has put this lady's life in jeopardy, in further jeopardy, and no chance of being saved by either you two bums in the U.S. Air Force. You should be thrown out of the U.S. Air Force when this lady dies. You are a murderer at that point. You had a duty under this law, sir. You had a duty to accept it and to get it moved on and looked into. The lady had lost her home to a burglar. Her best friend who lived in her home with her was ejected from the home, evicted, if you want to call it that, with the help of Chief Mike West of the Goldsboro Police Department through his officer, Canine Officer Harrison. Both Harrison, West, and the intermediary officers who allowed this to happen likewise have a problem bigger than yours, you'd think, except they're in the same conspiracy you're in, General Mike Holmes. They took over the home so that they could guard her with a guy with a weapon so none of her friends could see her, and that she would be taken out by not being allowed her second round of chemo, because her first round of chemo having worked so well, they did not want her to be able to report on the doctor who had elder abused her in so many ways, and you're part of the whole conspiracy, having breached your duty to report a crime, having obstructed justice and for the benefit of this conspiracy, and therefore having become, in essence, a member of the conspiracy, General Mike Holmes. You are guilty, 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 unless you immediately remove yourself from the conspiracy and demand that the lady be rescued. But it's a little late. But if you demand it, they need to talk to me. And I'll put an email address, kinmapper@gmail.com, kinmapper@gmail.com. But I don't think you dare. You are such a little coward. You should not be in charge of all our U.S. Air Force if you can't handle a simple obedience to an American law. Sir, you are a scum. And that's true even if you save yourself from criminal prosecution by rescuing this lady. Because if this lady dies, it will be under your failures, as well as Colonel Yates, Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Sprecher is her name, Judge Annette Turek, DA Matt Delbridge, Sheriff Larry Pierce, and the aforementioned Chief Mike West, as well as now the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, the inestimably awful, stupid U.S. Attorney Robert J. I'm so mad. You guys are all the worst of America, failing to do your job. How can this happen in America? the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, whose horrid decisions have made me forget his name. I don't want to remember all these criminals. Yes, you are criminals, because by violating your oath of office, you have put a lady's life, out. She's bound to die now. None of you have the guts to do your job. None of you certainly will retract all the things you've done in failing to do your job. General Mike Holmes, this is dedicated to you. You are the worst of the worst. You had so much authority, you could at least abide by the simplest of laws. A law passed in 1790 that everybody can read and understand, but you elected to violate it and let a lady die. Well, it's been weeks now, and she evidently still alive, so you did it, along with all your co-conspirators, all the ones that don't want to abide by federal law. General Mike Holmes, you are a scoundrel, but you can still withdraw from being a co-conspirator in a murder underway scheme to kill. You are given one last chance that I don't think you'll take.